Welcome to the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast, where we learn about some success stories and some not so successful stories. But either way, we learn. Each episode, we talk with successful real estate agents and vendors about things they have done to make them successful and some things they did that you might want to avoid. Join us for each episode of the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast with your host, Preston Sandlin.
All right, listeners. Well, thank you so much for joining the Successful Real Estate podcast, or broker podcast. I have a guy that I really love here a lot. This guy, even though he's a Redskins fan, no, I'm just kidding. Well, it's not Redskins anymore. What is it? It's Commanders now.
Commanders? Yeah.
Yes, the Commanders. Although I don't like Dallas, so we have that in common.
Exactly.
Mr. Donnie Icenhour, how are you doing today, brother?
Preston, I am doing great. How about yourself?
Good, good. Well, I want to get back in your background and lots of stuff, how you got into real estate and your training and your coaching and all that. But since we started out with the Redskins Commanders, so how far back do you go? So actually, my stepdad was a big Redskins fan. So I for that brief time, I was kind of a 49ers fan, but I did like Joe Theismann, all those guys. So were you a big fan? I know a lot of people in this area were, for some reason, they were Atlanta Braves baseball fans, but Washington Redskins football fans. Did you fall into that?
I did, because we didn't have the Panthers, and so growing up, they broadcast the Redskins game like they were the home team, and then so we watched them. And my brothers played for Pop Warner, and they did the Redskins. It was from the Lions League down in Mount Pleasant, and that's what got us liking the Redskins.
Awesome. Favorite Redskins player?
Favorite Redskins player? Oh gosh, the Hogs, probably John Riggins.
Yes,
with that O line, man, I love. He is such a man's man. But I tell you, Sonny Jurgensen was before my time, but he died.
NC State alum, right?
Yes, and he died recently. But man, I was reading about him and listening to stories from Fayetteville, and just what an interesting, loud, big guy. They talked about how he loved the girls and he loved bourbon and he loved football. It was funny. It was just a great character.
Gotcha. I like all those too, but I try to keep it in check.
Yeah.
And I like one woman particularly, but
one woman, my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
I like my wife. You don't like I. You know,
right. I got you. So I have to tell you a funny Redskin, and I like the Redskin. That was the time. Well, not Jurgensen, but Riggins and Theismann and all that. We're talking about early 80s, mid 80s. So I have to tell you a story. So I go to this home inspection conference every year, and several years back, they have a keynote speaker, and Joe Theismann was the keynote speaker, and it was kind of cool. I got to, I think what happens is these conferences pay, and they give the keynote and they take pictures. I got a picture with him somewhere. But the funniest thing, so he has this, kind of, speech he gives. It's, motivational, all that stuff. It's at some point in the middle of the thing, I mean, we're in this Sheraton ballroom. I don't know how many people are in there, probably about 250 people in there. And he asked, are there any Cleveland Browns fans out there? And these home inspectors from all over. And of course, there was a few down there from Cleveland. He hops off the stage and he walks down to him, Donnie, and he says, now, I'm going to show you something you're never going to see in your lifetime. And he shows him a Super Bowl ring.
That is great.
Ow!
Oh, that's great.
I mean, it was funny, but I was like, I don't know. I mean, it was good, and I like Theismann, although I've heard he may not be the nicest guy in the world. I don't know. Who knows? You probably hear that about everybody.
Exactly.
But, I mean, if you're famous, sooner or later somebody's going to ask you for an autograph, and you don't feel like giving it or something. So who knows?
I know. Just sometimes you just catch people at the wrong time and you get judged, by that wrong time sometimes. And it's, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing I'm like not famous because I don't want like that. Everybody wants to be famous, but could you imagine like everywhere you go, people wanting an autograph or wanting to take a picture of you? Sooner or later, you're gonna, not be feeling it. you
Yeah.
know?
Now, I will say, I think you're famous because here's why I think you're famous. You are a great partner to myself and to other realtors in this industry. And
Oh, thanks, brother.
you treat us well. And I have always value that. Any realtor event that's taking place, you're there supporting our business. And I'm so thankful for that. That's why I think you're famous amongst the realtor community.
Well, that's two beers I owe you now when I see you, but thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So, Donnie, let's back up. So, tell us, you're from Mount Pleasant, I think, right? I did a little bit of snooping there, and you live
Yeah.
in Harrisburg. So,
Yeah.
how did you get into real estate? How'd you? I mean, I know we didn't have that on a bingo card when we were in elementary school.
No.
How did you
So
get into real estate?
I kind of got into it when I bought my first house. I didn't have the best experience doing that. It was the people that were my agents. They showed me houses and it always seemed rushed, like they never took time. I didn't know what I was doing, and I
Right.
probably wasn't asking the right questions either. But we finally found the house, and they said, "Don't do a home inspection. They're not
What?
gonna yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious." And they're not going to do repairs or anything like that. And just buy the house. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought it was like going and buying a shirt at a store, and I did what they said. And then we get in the house, and it was so much not trouble, but I mean there was just a lot of things that were wrong with it that it could have been addressed, and I'm like there's got to be a better way. And then my dear friend at the time, he was building custom homes and I was working retail, and he said, Donnie, why don't I build them and you sell them and you just go get your real estate license? I'm like, sold, I'm in. And I did. I just jumped in. That's really how I got in. And then using the experience of how when I bought my house, of trying to make it a better experience for other people.
Nice, nice. So when was it? What year was this? What about time was this?
2003 is actually the same year I got married. I don't know why I was thinking getting into real estate and getting married in the same year. But yeah, it's 2003.
Nice, nice. I was a teacher and I got married, and right after I got married, I quit my teaching job to start a business. I'm sure her family was going, "What?
Yeah,
Right after you get married, you quit your job? Like, what are you doing?"
you got that
You know?
steady income. What are you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and real estate is I love it. I mean, I'm home inspection, but real estate related. But you definitely, you get paid according to how hard you work.
Yes.
But that's what I like about it because when I was in teaching, and I don't mean to hijack
No.
I should let you talk more than me. But when I was teaching, and I love teachers, but you know, I mean, I hate to say this, but the best teacher and the worst teacher get paid the same amount of money. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no there's no reward for you working harder other than the kids, and that is a great reward, but there's no financial reward. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But speaking of teaching, so not only now do you're rock star real estate agent, but you're teaching now. So tell us about that. What or you're teaching pre-licensing and whatnot. Tell us how you got into that and tell us more about it.
Yeah. So I have this about going on a year and a half now. I've been with Superior School of Real Estate teaching, teaching pre-license, general update, BIC-up, the post 301, 302, 303
Oh wow,
class.
so you're teaching it all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Nice.
I have had a blast doing that, and looking at other opportunities of even Superior is my main focus, but exploring at some other options out there with maybe my own school, how that works and pans out, little things like that. And I got into it. I don't want to say I backed into it because I've taught. The guy was a pastor for a while, or a youth pastor and teaching, and loved it. And When I was the one of the when I was one of my previous companies I was at, I got into teaching and training and just loved it. And so I talked to Bill Gallagher. He met with me several times. I would say he's my mentor in my
Yeah,
teaching
Bill's great.
career. Yeah, and he highly encouraged me and gave me all the support that I needed, and told me the steps I needed to take, and I haven't looked back. And
Nice.
it's been a great experience. I've had a great time.
That's awesome. And I'll tell you, so you're doing the CE and everything. I taught a CE home inspection, but it was a real estate elective,
Yeah.
4 hours, and woo, man, 4 hours. I mean, I'm used to teaching, giving presentations, but to teach a 4 hour class, I mean, you got to do 12 hours of preparation.
Yes.
It's not just those hours you're teaching, but
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I'll tell
So,
you too, it's made
okay.
me better as an agent. It's I'm like, goodness gracious, it's yeah, it's been on both sides. The prep work has really expanded my knowledge because there are things that when you're in this business for a while, you know that there are things that you don't use or think about as much. But getting back into the study of the book and the test and the exams and all that, I'm like, wow, man, I forgot some of this stuff. I got to
Oh yeah.
rekindle it.
Yeah. Well, what's that? I've heard that saying. You remember, I forget the exact percentages, but I'm going to make them up because it's something like this. You remember a certain percentage of what you see. I don't know, like I don't know, 30%. You remember 40% of what you hear, but you remember
Mhm.
90% of what you have to teach.
That is
so,
true. Yeah.
so yeah, I know when I was a school teacher, it's like I mean, even with kids because they're pretty smart. I mean, you can't just love your way through it. I mean, you got to know it inside and out to be able to
Yes.
teach it and answer questions and that sort of thing. So I do have a question for you, Donnie. So CE, it's about that season. Everybody waits till June. What is it? June 10th, I think, is the
June
day.
10th. June
Yeah.
10th.
So I'm sure March, April, and May, because I sponsor a lot of classes. I'm sure I'll see it because we sponsor a lot of the classes. Is there any what like if I'm a real estate agent listening to this, anything major coming down the pike on the CE or major thing that you can think of that heads up on?
For this year, I would what I would say the biggest thing is I hear people we have conversation about, the NAR ruling a few back at May, I think, of 2024. You got
Mhm.
to have a showing agreement in place. You got to get your buyer agency agreement in place, and they think it's the law, the law, the law. And it's not. It's that's not the law. That's only the policy of NAR. And so people a lot of times getting the agency agreements confused with NAR and state law, and in state. I tell brokers all the time. I mean, a buyer agent in North Carolina can have an oral buyer agency agreement up until the time you go under contract. And that's just bringing those things up to to people's mind. Hey, there is a difference between being a realtor and being a North Carolina licensed real estate agent. There's a difference in
Right.
that. I am curious to see what like short-term rentals, like VBROs and Airbnbs. There's a lot of people that think they could do them for their buddies and their friends when it's you're marketing property and collecting money on the behalf of someone else. And I'm curious to see how the state will address those things coming down the road.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you pretty much correct me if I'm wrong, Donnie, but like if you're like you could sell your own property or rent your own property, because it's just like you could work for a builder, but only for that builder and not have to have a license. But if you're doing it for somebody else, you have to have a license. Is that correct?
That is
Is that
correct.
sort of that's kind of
Yeah.
was my understanding of it.
Yeah, and receive payment. Yeah, that's all. It is. You have to have your license for that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, let me switch gears a little bit, strategy and whatnot. I know a lot of real because you're successful and you're around a lot of successful realtors and you do coaching and stuff. Um, What do you believe in scripts? What's your feeling on that?
Yeah, we do. I believe in scripts. We have scripts every day of our life. Everything that we do,
True.
whether we just know it or not. I used to teach, and I'm gonna have you finish this line for me, Preston. Who
All
do you
right.
call?
We'll say that again.
Who do you call? What's the
Who do
first
I
thing that comes
call?
into your mind?
My mom.
Oh, your mom? Come on, it's Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
Come
Who do
on,
you gonna call?
Preston. Yeah,
Well, that thought did enter my mind before I said my mom.
yeah,
Who are you gonna call when you
yeah. Or yeah,
and
you've got
crazy
friends.
crazy another story. I met that guy, Ray Parker Jr. on a
Did you
cruise, by the
really?
way. Yeah.
I always like to be that one hit wonder. I mean,
Yeah.
or okay, what about this one? You've got friends in,
Low places.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah.
that's a
Gotcha.
script.
Yeah.
Who you call
I got you.
Ghostbusters? That's a script. Yeah, I've got friends in low places. That's a script. And there's something
Gotcha.
that we just get so nervous about. Oh no, I can't do scripts. Blah blah blah. Well, when you're walking down the hall and you pass somebody, you go, "Hey, how you doing?" Good, and your response back to them, "Good." That's a script.
It is. I
And
got
so
you.
I just think that it's a mindset with understanding scripts and practicing scripts and doing scripts. It's just really it's incorporated in every day of our life and everything that we do. We just don't know it, and people think, "Oh, it's not authentic." Well, when you're asking me how I'm doing, is that not authentic? It's a script of
Yeah,
your
I
life.
like it. I agree. I agree. Can't believe I missed that one though.
Oh no, Preston,
That
disappoint.
thought did go in my mind, but I was thinking, he's not talking about Ghostbusters, is he?
No, no. Honestly, if I'm sitting anywhere and there's anything that someone asks, who do you call? That's always the very first thing that comes in my mind.
I got you, got you. All right, so let me tell you that I know we could probably go on forever because I go down rabbit holes. So I'm on a cruise. This was actually one of those superior real estate cruises. This was back about 2008, 2009. It was a Mediterranean cruise. Bill was on it. And the
Nice.
only reason, I mean, this was very extravagant for us, but we got to write part of it off. We couldn't write it all off. But tell Superior they need to do another cruise. But
Yes.
anyway, I'm on that cruise and we had gone somewhere and we were back in line, when you back in line to get on the boat. And we're standing there, waiting, selling C card, whatever. And it was Royal Caribbean. And I'm standing beside this guy and I just started talking to him. And I'm like, I don't know. We were talking about something. I said, "Hey, where are you from?" He said, "L.A." And and I was like, and he said his name was Ray, and and I was like, "What do you do for a living?" He says, "I'm a musician." And it dawned on me. I was like, "Wait a minute, are you Ray Parker Jr.?" And he was. It was Ray Parker
Wow.
Jr., the guy who sings Ghostbusters. Although they say he ripped that song off from Huey Lewis and the News, so I well, it was a
I
lawsuit.
yeah.
The "I Want a New Drug" was supposedly
I
uh, uh, they matched some of the notes or something. But anyway, uh, YouTube,
Seriously.
please don't discredit me or something. I just tell him it's out there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, I met him a couple of other times. I got a picture with him or something. I mean, that's my meeting famous people. That and Joe Theismann.
Joe Theismann.
But anyway, now that I've thoroughly taken us down a rabbit hole,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, well, I did tell him you were on my iPod. That's how long ago it was. I had an iPod with stuff. Well, what do you think about Donnie? You do a lot of coaching. A lot of real estate like leads. All right, so I got a multi-part question here. Well, how do you feel about A, buying leads? B, other ways to get leads, calling expired listings, farming neighborhoods. What do you think about? I guess people have different strategies. What do you feel about all this?
Yes.
All the above.
Yeah. I when you're starting out in the business, you're trying to just build a business and you want to grow, you want to uh, move fast, and a lot of times buying the leads help you get started out in the business. And I'm about that, but you got to what I would say to someone: be careful about how much money you're spending, where you're buying leads from. because sometimes you just might be buying names, and if you can't get them on the phone, then it's not a lead. And you just be careful with that. But if that's where you go, then that's, if that's what's working for you, maybe start out trying to do that if you've got nothing else going on. But one of the things, I'm with Keller Williams right now, and Gary Keller says our best lead source is right here in our phone.
Yeah.
Just pull up your contact list and count how many, or see how many contacts are in that database. That's your lead source there. And I was looking at mine. I've got well over 1,500 names in my phone. That's my lead source right there. And
Wow.
if we had, I feel if we spend as much time calling those leads as opposed to chasing lead sources from somewhere else, I think we'd have greater success. I was reading an ENAR stat last week. I was actually talking to pre-licensed students about leads because
Mhm.
they get questions about that and they want to know how fast you could get and grow in this business and where should they buy leads from. I mean, it was almost the exact same question you asked me, and I told them that it's like 87% of people who buy and sell homes are from someone that they know.
Mhm.
And that's all you really need to do. And then also the stat goes even higher where it's like 90% of people who buy and sell homes will use the same person that helped them previously, but they've lost contact with them.
Mhm.
And I just think that in our business, sometimes we just always think forward and we stop to look back and forget to look back at the transactions that we've had with people in the past and continue those relationships with them as well.
Nah, brilliant, brilliant. I'm gonna take it one step further too. You said you have 1,500 contacts in your phone.
Mhm.
So I read this book a long time ago. It was one of these old school sales books. Joe Girard. You ever heard of that guy?
Yes. Yeah.
Supposedly, he wrote the Guinness Book of World Record, the greatest car salesman of all time, and he sold so many. And it's still a good read. It's definitely aged and all that. But the one takeaway I had from that book and it's still applicable today was I think he was talking to a funeral or a chapel or something where they prepare for funerals and weddings. I don't remember exactly what it was, but somehow he talked to them and he's like, "Well, how many of these things do you have to make or print or whatever?" And he said, "On average, about 250." And he deducted from that everybody knows 250 people, and
Mhm.
like a wedding, 250 people come, a funeral, 250 people come. Now granted, I'm sure there's smaller ones and there's bigger ones, but on average, so if you think about that, everybody knows 250 people, and I guarantee you one of those 250 people are needing to buy or sell a home. you know, so it's smart. It's smart. And then, I always tell, I'm like, be nice to everybody. And
Yes.
because everybody is a potential, well, I mean, first of all, it's the right thing to do, just be a nice person.
Yep.
But also, I mean, that person at the drive through today, they might have a friend that needs to buy a house. I mean, you never know. You
Exactly.
never know. I mean, then they
Or
even need
not,
a home inspection.
yeah, or not being afraid to ask for, hey, if you're not needing to buy or sell, do you know someone who does?
Right, right.
Hello, I'm Bill Gallagher with Superior School of Real Estate, and I'm here with Preston Sandlin of Home Inspection Carolina. Preston, I've always liked your style, especially those pants, and also I've been interested in the home inspection business for a long time.
Well, Bill, that's ironic. I've always admired your style, and I've always admired your ability to educate these fine folks for sometimes 8 hours a day. I wish that I could do what you do.
Hey Preston, wouldn't it be cool if we switched? Preston, we sure got what we wished for, buddy.
We sure did. And now that you're the expert, Bill, I mean, you are wearing the pants. And I'm the instructor and the educator. Tell us what Home Inspection Carolina is doing these days to make the home buying process easier for realtors and home buyers.
Well, Preston, all our home inspection reports now are online for the real estate agent and the client to review the report online and to be able to create a repair list basically online by either clicking repair, accept, monetary compensation, and once they prepare the request, they can then press email, text, or print right then.
You mean it's all automated, Bill?
Absolutely, we are high tech.
Wow. What else is Home Inspection Carolina doing different these days?
Well, Preston, we're training our home inspectors to be non-alarmist. We are training them to put things into perspective and to simplify the message for the homeowner.
Non-alarmist is key, Bill. You remember those days of the 100-page reports and those 3-ring binders that would just go on and on and on, la 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 la. Thank you for being a good non-alarmist.
And Preston, one more thing. We fix the small stuff for free. Do you remember when home inspectors always put those little nitpicky items on those reports?
Oh, bless their hearts.
Well, at Home Inspection Carolina, if we can fix it in 5 minutes or less, we do it for free. We're better with a caulk gun than a keyboard any day. We just fix it.
You mean there's no cost for this, Bill?
Preston, it's free.
Wow.
Well, Preston, these pants really are a catch.
Well, Bill, I've enjoyed wearing the suit, but I don't think I could wear it every day because I got to fix the small stuff for free, and I don't want to ruin a good suit.
Preston, it's been a lot of fun flipping the switch.
%. Love it. Well, let me ask you this, Donnie. How do you feel? I get mixed feelings about this. Some people say they're a waste of time, and other people say they're a gold mine. Open houses. What's your feeling about that?
Yeah. So my biggest client came from an open house. They were when BB&T and SunTrust merger was taking place. He was moving down here with SunTrust from Richmond, Virginia, and I met them at an open house. They didn't have an agent, and I got a good sell from them. But then he recommended his son to me, and his son recommended his best friend to me. Then his
Nice.
son bought another house, and we're this week listing his son's house now. And it was now granted there were only 2 people that walked into that open house, but it was definitely worth my time having that open house. And now there were some open houses that are duds, but what I do if duds, and when I mean people not coming, I still make that valuable time of making phone calls and doing follow up and reaching out to people. So it's going to be a win one way or the other for me. Either it's going to be a win when someone walks in and chooses to use me to buy a house, or it's going to be a win because I got some great follow up done with people I hadn't talked to in a while.
Love it. Love it. All right, Donnie, what's the best real estate advice you've ever gotten or would give if you had somebody new ask you, or would it be the same?
Gosh, I would say, and I read it in the book, and it was Ryan Serhant,
Yeah.
Sell It Like
New
Serhant.
York, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, him. He's
Yeah,
actually moved into our market, but
yeah.
read that book, and the biggest thing that I got from that in real estate was say yes. And when I did, and I mean, I try to use that in other things, but I say yes, and that really helped me in my business and grow my business. And I I can look for excuses to say no and not do things, not to follow up or not to make that phone call. But really, it just comes down to saying yes, and
Yeah.
that's what I started doing, and just saying yes.
No, I agree. And figure it out. I had I'm always trying to get, for my business, I'm trying to get in front of real estate agents, sales meeting, I'll bring food, whatever, a topic, lunch and learn, anything like that. And I remember, Don, a couple of years ago, this broker in charge asked me, like, I guess they were having somebody bring lunch and they were going to do a presentation on something, and they, for whatever reason, backed out or couldn't do it like three
Yeah.
days. It's like, Preston, can you do a presentation on, and I don't remember, it was some like software that was hot at the time. I can't remember. And I was like, yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Donnie, I didn't know anything about that
Uh,
software, but I had 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I learned in and out. I learned enough to give a presentation on that software. I forget what it was. One of those. I don't even. I think it's defunct now. One of those like Trulia or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or Active Rain. Do you remember that Active
I
Rain?
do. I do.
I think that was it. I think that it was Active Rain or Trulia or something. It was hot at the time. I
Yeah.
don't even
It was, I do because it was like part of Eden neighborhoods, all that during that late 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably 10, maybe 15 years ago. But to answer your question is say yes, like yes, I absolutely could give a presentation on that. I got off
Yeah.
the phone going,
Or
how do you spell
yes,
that?
we could look at this house now. You
Yeah,
know, yes, I could write this offer. Yes, I will answer my phone.
yeah.
Just saying yes. And that's just even, even with that person, it just really just changes that mindset of yes. It's just when you say yes, it just feels so much better than to say no. It just feels better to say yes, I
We'll
think.
make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, Donnie. Well, I got one more question before the lightning round, and
Okay.
we'll go to the lightning round. So, the last question before the lightning round, and then there'll be two questions, and I'll let you go because I know you're a busy guy. Um, so I sponsor a lot of new agent orientations, Donnie. Like, after they finish your school, and then they go down to Canopy. They got to take this new agent orientation before they can get a lockbox and key and all that. So, it's a good opportunity for me, to get in before they're jaded.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I know this home inspector who wears crazy pants. You should use them. Um, but what I've learned, I mean, I've done that, I don't know, 20 years now. And later on, out of all these people I saw in class, I can almost, I don't know who they're going to be, but, out of 80 people, there's probably going to be about 5 rock stars. There's
Hmm.
probably going to be about 20 or 30 that do okay. And I mean, I hate to say it, but probably about half are going to wash out. I mean,
Yeah.
so I've always tried to figure out, and you probably see that too, because you've been teaching and coaching and stuff. Is there a secret sauce or a secret ingredient to the ones that either become rock stars or do pretty good? What's your thought on that?
I would say that it really is mindset on a lot of it, and that because I was telling the class the other day, it was the first day of class, and it was pre-licensed, and I really want to pump them up, and I really want them to be, encouraged. But at the same time, I told them that in 2 years, 85% of you will not be in this business. And they're like,
True.
what? And so we talked through that, and I really told him. I said it's finding the having the right mindset about this business, finding the right partnerships, like with Home Inspection Carolinas. You
Well,
like
thank
that?
you, sir.
Was that a good plug there? That's good.
Yeah.
And but also when you're looking for a place to join up, it's not always about the commission.
Yeah.
It's about the culture, the environment, and really it's what can they do for me is what they should be looking for. And I tell them, well, we want a commission. Like I made the most money I've ever made in 3 years in real estate on the lowest commission cuts I've ever had.
Mhm.
And so don't it's not always about the split, but it's about the company. And that's what I try to tell young agents to have that mindset to look for a company, not necessarily because of the splits, but because of what they can offer you as in training and support, even culture. Culture is a huge thing for me. Because I'm a people person. I love the team that I'm on now is an incredible team, and that's what I look for. I could be fine as a solo agent, but I like that culture. I like my leadership. I like the team that I'm on because of what they pour into me. And
Gotcha.
that's what I tell new agents. And I think a lot of times the reason why 85% of them will leave is because they haven't found that right team for them, and they haven't found that right place that will pour into them as agents.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No, great stuff. Great stuff. And I think what you're saying there too is growth. I mean, not necessarily commission, but where can you grow? The
Yeah,
culture and the training and all that. All right. Well, let's get to the lightning round. Donnie, I don't want to hold you up. We
uh-oh.
could talk all day. So I'm
Absolutely.
going to give this is a game called This or That. I give you
Yeah.
two things and you pick iOS or Android.
iOS.
Yeah, that's my whole family. I'm the Android guy. Uh, smartwatch or old school wristwatch.
Well, right here, smartwatch. I used to be old
uh,
school. Now I go smartwatch.
Gotcha. I'm Android. I got a Garmin. It's a smartwatch, but it's an
Is it
Android.
really though?
Really, I don't know. Well, really, I don't do a whole lot with it other than keeping up my steps. I've learned because it'll make me, like towards the end, later in the day, if I don't have like, man, I need to get out and walk. I'll literally go walk just so that I can, if this thing will make me go walk, then it's a positive.
Hey, Preston, we need to do a watch that would, instead of get up and walk, get up and follow up. Make that call. That's what we need
Oh,
to do.
I like it. Make that call, or you said you were going to do this. Accountability watch.
Yes.
I like it. I like it. Michael or LeBron?
Oh, is that a question? Michael.
All right, so I'm going to take that one step further. David Thompson or LeBron?
David Thompson. David Thompson. He was Michael before Michael was Michael.
That's true. That's true. All right, so Dean Smith or Mike Krzyzewski?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I don't know. I've got to
Don't
say
like either one of them.
though actually I like them both. I like them both for different reasons and what they've done. I would have to say Coach K.
All right, so Coach K or Jim Valvano?
Oh, Jim Valvano.
Yeah, all right. So I was a Carolina fan growing up,
Yeah.
but I think, all right, I like all three of those for different reasons.
Yep.
I do think those were the three greatest coaches for a long period of time. I mean, the ACC was so lucky.
Tobacco
I like
Road.
Jim Valvano for just raw coaching and motivation and being able. I mean, let's face it. I'm not trying to sound bad, but he didn't get the recruits that the other guys got, and he did more with less. You know what I mean? Um, Now, I do admire, obviously, a Carolina fan. I admire Dean Smith for building a program for a long period of time. Same thing with Krzyzewski, even though I can't stand Duke. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to give the guy credit. So I like him for different reasons, but one coach to win one game, I'd take Valvano.
Yes. Well, you see it in '83. That one moment where he's running around the court. That's all you need, just one.
I was in junior high, and it was called junior high then. I think you're right. Like you're born in 71. I was born in 69, so we're
Yeah,
close.
okay.
And that was 1983. I was in eighth grade, I think. And I remember that run because it was weird. Okay, so Carolina had won in 82, right? And actually Carolina had a better team in 84 than 80 or I can't remember. But NC State, I remember every game leading up to that was like overtime, Pepperdine.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like they barely won, and I think they only got in to the tournament because they won the ACC tournament. I think
I was looking
I may
forward
be
to it.
mistaken. Was that the way you saw it too, or
Yeah,
something?
they had to win the ACC to get in, or they weren't in, and that's where they got the cardiac pack.
Yeah, and I remember it was Houston. They were that Houston team was so stacked. They had Clyde Drexler,
Yes,
Elijah Wan. I mean, they had like three future Hall of Famer. And that team was so. I mean, they didn't give NC State a chance.
they did
And
not.
I remember it was like that back door. What was it? He chucked it up and he dunked it.
Yeah,
Who was it? I can't remember. Going
I
down
don't
memory
remember.
lane.
I don't remember.
I can't think. Charles, I'll look it up.
I
I
know
knew this
Cindy
guy.
Lowe was on the team.
Yeah. And who was the
Trying to think.
guy? Uh, can't remember. He dunked. It was kind of like I thought it was a shot, and it may have been a shot, but the
Yeah.
guy was behind him, and it was behind Elijah and all those, and he dunked it for the final. I can't think of Sidney, Derek. God. Anyway, I'm getting off here. All right, tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
Pineapple on your pizza? Yes or no?
Yes, not always, but yes.
Tennis shoes or flip flops?
Tennis shoes.
Mullet or bowl cut?
What does it look like?
Ginger or Marianne?
Oh, golly.
You're
Marianne.
old enough to know that because we're the
I
same
know.
age.
I know.
Younger
Marianne.
people, they're like, who? What?
What are you talking about? Yeah,
Would you go Ginger or Marianne?
Marianne. Marianne.
Marianne. Yeah,
She
that's the
was,
majority.
yeah, Marianne.
Farm girl or movie star? Uh, would you rather have a phone call or text?
Uh, I am a phone call person, so phone call.
Gotcha. Big party or small gathering?
Both? No, because I wound up being at a big party, but being around a smaller group in the big party. I like
Gotcha.
them both, actually.
That's good. That's good. Well, in real estate, you got to be able to do both if you can.
Yeah.
Beach or mountains?
Beach,
Football or basketball?
football,
What's worse to do, laundry or dishes?
dishes, putting them up.
Would you rather go to a theme park or the beach?
Theme park,
Iced coffee or hot coffee?
ice, coffee.
The last one and the most important one, toilet paper, over or under? You like the
Oh, is there an option? It's over.
over, gotcha. Well, everybody almost says that, except I've had a few people who have cats, and they say the cats will they'll do under so that the cats won't wind it out.
That's why you don't have cats. Oh,
Well, we don't. We got like 3 dogs now. If it was up to my wife, we'd have 10 probably.
yeah, just say dogs or cats. Dogs or cats.
Yeah.
What do you?
Dogs, definitely dogs. But I grew up with some cats. I mean, and I grew up. We're all like what 3, 4 generations from farm. My grandparents they always had cats because they had a barn, and you got to
Yeah,
have cats to keep the rats away from the food for the cows and horses and all that stuff.
yeah.
All right, 2 last questions. Um, First one's kind of a funny one, and then the last one's kind of sort of a serious one. All right, so Donnie, in all your years of real estate, what is the craziest, wildest, you could change the names to protect the innocent, real estate story or craziest thing you've ever seen happen or experience? It could be you or somebody you work with or something, we could change the names, but what's the craziest, wildest, or weirdest real estate story you got? If we were drinking a beer at a bar, I was like, Donnie, what's your craziest real estate story?
Oh gosh.
Like, do you have any Thelma? What was the one Bill always tells? Thelma, was it
Von
Thelma?
der Lee.
Vonda Lee, that's it. Do you have a Vonda Lee-ish story?
My Von der Lee story. I don't know. I was trying to think through that. One of the probably I know for one of the things that I experienced, it was probably the most awkward one. I had 2 clients. They were recently married, and they were looking in TGK, and we were looking at this older house in TGK. I did the lockbox and everything. Went inside. They were there in the house, but they weren't walking around the house. They were just sitting there on the couch, like in their hands in their lap, and they just watch us go by. I'm like, I'm Donnie
Did they get
Icenhour.
notified? Surely they got notified that you
Yeah, and they were like, okay, that's fine. And they were just sitting there at the house. And I'm like,
were go for a walk. Go get some steps.
no, they sat on the couch the whole time. But that's not all. They said, take your time, look around. And I'm telling you, they were almost dressed alike, sitting on this couch in TGK. And so we're walking through the house and we went down the stairs. There's a split level. And nothing. All the doors were open. I was knocking on the doors because I was afraid of someone's being there. And I went to the bathroom and there was someone in there using the restroom. And I looked to my buyers like, we're done. We're done. And so we walked out. That was the most awkward one. That was the most awkward one. And then there was another one. We were showing a house up off Sharon Amity, and we were walking up through the house, and it was I didn't think there was anybody in the house, and we walked into the primary bedroom, and all of a sudden this I about died. I could not. I ran over. I knocked my client down trying to get back out and shut the door. It was a dog, a pretty big dog that was in the kennel, did not bark or nothing the whole time we were there. When we were trying to open the door, didn't do nothing until we walked into that primary bedroom. I about died and I knocked my client down trying to get out of that
Oh
bedroom.
gosh.
I was embarrassed because I yelled. I'm easily startled, and I yelled and I knocked him down, and it was but we laughed at the end of it. But that those are the two things that popped in my mind, Preston.
That's wild.
Yeah, right off the bat.
When we go do the inspection, they always tell us, "Oh, that dog won't bite. He won't bite you.
Yeah, yeah,
Every dog will bite if you. I mean, but they always seem to think like I'm in his house and I'm in his territory. I mean, you don't know."
yeah.
But and I know one time, I this long I used to treat for termites, and I was treating this house for termites, and there was a dog in the backyard, and man, he was friendly, but I made the mistake. I like went to Taco Bell for lunch. I came back and had a whole bunch of burritos. And man, I went to give him one of my burritos. Man, he about took half my hand off. I
Holy
like
smoke.
literally like had to have stitches on my hand because I was feeding this. I mean, he was a friendly dog, but when I gave him that taco, he anyway. So I don't give dogs, or it was a burrito actually. Don't give dogs burritos anymore.
No.
So anyway, well, last question, and I'll let you go, Donnie, because I know you got a lot, and I want you to give all the ways to follow you, like you, and all the things that you do on the internet these days. If you woke up in a brand new world tomorrow, a market same as Charlotte, same size, everything, you had all your equipment, your computer, your car, all that, but for some crazy reason, nobody knew who you were when you had 5 grand, what would you do to get your name out? You don't have to buy a new computer. You don't have to buy a car. You don't have to buy signs. Just marketing. It's got sort of an ROI question. What would you do with 5 grand to get your name out there or to get some business?
I, actually, this is what I'm trying to learn, honestly. Social media, and AI, um, and really learning to embrace that because social media is free with Facebook, X, Instagram. I'm not on TikTok yet, but trying to get on that. But all that stuff's free, and just putting
Yeah.
it out there and getting on the local like city forums and pages and community pages and stuff, putting yourself out there and just introducing yourself to the world. That's free.
Yeah.
That's what I would, and I'm preaching to the choir here because I got to work on that stuff. But that,
No, 100%, 100%. I'm lucky. Well, you're lucky too because you got a kid in college. You got a boy and a girl, right? He's
yeah,
college, and what, she in high school,
she acts like
middle
she's in high
school.
school, but she's she's in seventh grade. My
So you
buttercup.
you got you got social media experts there.
I know. So, because her and I were talking, I mentioned a little bit about doing my own school, and I know I need to have a better social media presence. I follow a lot of other realtors who have great social media presence. And
Oh
Preston,
yeah.
I just posted my first YouTube video today, and but I'm trying to get my daughter to help me be better with it. And hey, Sadie, help me to what would make this cool? Like, do my eyes need to sparkle with stars and pop out? She said, no, Dad. But
Well,
just
I was getting ready to say you get the eye roll. It's like
yes. So maybe I'll just do dad jokes. Get on there because I love dad jokes. Just get on there and do dad jokes and see if people like me.
Watch
Yeah,
you for that.
yeah,
You beat me to it though. It's like my daughter's actually a food influencer, and she's not too bad because she's older. I mean, she's 25 now, but
yeah.
my younger one, same thing. It's like, oh yeah, I can ask them, but is it worth the eye roll that I'm going to get? Oh, Dad, that hurts.
Hey, what is your go-to dad joke? This I'm off topic. So what's your go-to dad joke?
Oh man, oh, gosh, that dude got me on the spot here. The knock knock jokes are always good.
Yeah.
The old school orange. What is it? Orange. What
Aren't you
is?
glad
No,
I ate
it's
a banana?
yeah, banana, orange. I don't know. Do you have a good one?
I got several, but here's the one I love.
Yeah.
We were I was hosting a bingo event and I was like calling the numbers and like, we hear on the news a lot about uh, socialism, and we know who the father of communism is Karl Marx,
Yeah.
but nobody talks about his sister. Invented the starting pistol. Her name is Anya Marks. Get it? So just watching people like what up and then take a set. That's one of my favorite ones to go to because they don't know like where you going with that.
That is exactly what I was like, because you were leading me down this political thing. I'm like, where's he going with this? And I'm not a fan of Karl Marx, but
Yeah, yeah.
but he was a terrible person, by the way. But anyway, he's a deadbeat dad. But anyway, I like that. That's good.
I
That's
actually
good.
learned another one, and I did this to my son. And I'm like, son, you've heard of Alexander Graham Bell. Nobody talks about his brother, who is just as equally important, Taco. Taco. Oh my gosh, Preston.
Waka waka waka.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was Fozzie Bear? Remember Fozzie Bear?
Yes. Yes. Waka
I
waka
love to
waka.
tell a dad joke or something, and I'm like, I'll see myself out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is great, Donnie. Thank you for all the gold nuggets you dropped here. I know some people got some value. So for everybody who's listening, if you got value from Donnie, and I know you did, let's go give him some love. So tell us about where and all can we find you on the internet? Your YouTube channel, because we're gonna get you some likes and some
Yeah.
follows. So
Yeah.
tell
So
us all the places we can follow you on the internet or phone.
yeah. So on YouTube, Donnie Icenhour, uh, Donnie Icenhour from License to Close. It's my brand new YouTube channel. Preston only got one video on there with that. So
We'll
I'm
go like it.
yeah, trying to get that up there and going. Donnie Icenhour on Facebook. Those are my two primary places where, particularly Facebook, is where I do a lot of posting and putting things out there.
Awesome. And you say you're not on TikTok yet. Are you on Instagram?
I'm on
Not yet.
Instagram. I'll same thing, Donnie Icenhour. The good thing about having a last name that's spelt like mine is, it's easy to grab those handles, and so it's Donnie Icenhour. And that's Icenhour.
Awesome. Well, and also, if any of the listeners would like to get in touch with you, if I hope that's okay, can
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
message you through any of those, or is there an email? I always say, you don't have to give your phone number or
Yeah,
anything.
no, they feel free. I'd love to chat. I love relationships. Donnie Donnie dot Eisenhower Icenhour @gmail.com.
Awesome. And what's the name of your real estate school I mean, I know you work for Superior some, but you do your own too. What's the name of your real estate? Is it Donnie Eisenhower
It's
or
it's excelrealestateschool.com.
okay, Excel Real Estate School. So if anybody's interested, here's this, or thinking about getting into real estate, could they email you? Is that good?
Yes, I would love for them to. I love what I do. I love bringing more people on, bring them onto this boat, and let's be successful together.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Donnie, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I will catch you on the flip side.
Thank you, Preston.
You've been listening to the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast with your host, Preston Sandlin. Join us on the next episode where we'll be talking to a successful agent or vendor about the right things to do and the wrong things you should avoid. Join us on the next episode of the Successful Real Estate Broker Podcast.